Hey everybody, it is Nathan Selove with another episode of You Might Be Autistic If. You might notice that right now I'm shooting on my phone. That is because I'm just shooting an intro right now. Because this video is going to be a continuation of the video that I shot with Jess 2 weeks ago. We had actually been planning on only getting 2 videos out of it, but y'all gave us so much material that we ended up getting 3 videos out of it. So this will be another You Might Be Autistic If with myself and Jess. For those of you that are new to the series, You Might Be Autistic Ifs are submitted statements from my audience in which they describe situations that they think make somebody autistic. Now the point of this, or might make someone autistic. Now the point of this, importantly, is just because you embody some of these doesn't mean that you are autistic, and just because you don't doesn't mean that you aren't. You met one autistic, you met one autistic. And the point of this is to laugh at some of the funny quirks that us autistics often have, while also celebrating some of the other ones that are often looked down upon by society. As always, if we mispronounce anybody's name, we apologize. Please leave a comment down below and try to give us the phonetic pronunciation, and we will try to do better next time, but hope you enjoy. All right, this next one is from Random K-Bear.
Maybe the K is silent.
So, Random Bear?
That's the one, isn't it?
I think that's it. So, from Random Bear... You might be autistic if you run away, or flap your hands, or can't walk long distances, or stim, or scream in stores, or don't know the difference between a mean tone of voice or a nice tone of voice.
Yeah, those are all things that I have experienced to different degrees.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty common.
I actually do kind of enjoy walking long distances. For me, it does kind of help clear my head. Definitely those are very relatable.
Orange sanguines... I don't think I said that correctly, did I? You might be autistic if items you buy regularly, from salt to dental floss to bread, have to be a highly specific brand or type, and even a slightly different one won't do. Nathan's got a whole thing with his toothpaste.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, look, Jess, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Also, with potato bread for him, it has to be the specific brand of potato bread.
But the other brands don't taste good. It's not brand loyalty.
I'm a Dapper Dan man.
I hope you understood that reference.
I don't want fun.
Also from Orange Sanguinus, I'm pretty sure that my way of pronouncing it was correct. You might be autistic if you leave your curtains closed all the time because the sun is too bright. Yes, I wear sunglasses all the time when I'm out because I mean, I don't know if my eyes are actually more sensitive to the light or if it's just like I'm more intolerant of super bright stuff because I'm autistic. I don't know if it's a physical or mental thing, but yeah.
I have very specific ideas about lighting, and I don't know if you experience that, but I am very upset if it is daylight hours and there is enough natural light that if you just opened the curtains, you would get enough natural light. I do not want to see any artificial lights on. It makes me very annoyed if during the daytime, space that should be brightly lit from just the sun alone has to have artificial light. It feels weird to me. It's like sleeping in and waking up, with your alarm clock blaring for the past 30 minutes or something. It just feels wrong-footed somehow.
I actually understand that. I never noticed that in myself, but I actually do understand that. Yeah.
Another one from Oranges Sanguinis.
I wonder what the orange, is. When you're saying orange, are you talking about the color or the fruit? I'm actually, please comment on this video. I'm genuinely curious.
And I'm pretty sure that the last time I just pronounced it was not correct.
I'm pretty sure my way was correct.
I think my first way was correct. You might be autistic if you've been wearing the same pair of shoes almost every day for the past 4 or 5 years, and you'll keep wearing them until they're destroyed beyond repair.
Why are you poking me with your elbow?
I
don't know what you're talking about.
No, my time, story time, gather round. When I first met Nathan, we had this very, to me, confusing conversation where I mentioned to him, since we'd been dating for a couple months, that his shoes were really, really shot and they had holes in them and they looked very bad. And I asked him why he kept wearing this pair, and he said, "These are the only shoes I have besides my dress shoes." And I said, "Oh, but don't you want to get another pair?" Because this was not like a financial issue. It was just that he did not want another pair of shoes. And I said, "Well, you need to get a new pair anyway." And he says, "No, I don't. My feet stopped growing in high school." And I had to explain to my adult boyfriend that just because your feet stop growing doesn't mean you'll never need another pair of shoes.
I didn't think that I wouldn't need another pair of shoes. I just knew that, I could keep wearing them for longer periods of time.
You did think that. You said your feet stopped growing in high school.
Yeah, I know that shoes eventually wear out, but, those hadn't worn out too much.
He only got a new pair of shoes because he walked home to and from his college every day, and the only reason he got a new pair of shoes is that the duct tape that was over the hole in his shoe was not enough to keep mud and water
I don't think
out.
that I used duct tape. I'm pretty sure that part's not true.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Orange Sanguinus also said you might be autistic if you're considering either learning how to cut your hair or learning to live with your increasingly horrid looking split ends, because that's how much you hate getting your hair cut.
Nathan's mom still cuts his hair. Next. Nathan's mom is the only person who's ever cut his hair.
That's actually not true. I do remember one time when I was really little, I was at one of those hair salons, but I remember not liking it.
Well, that paints a horrible picture.
You might be autistic if you can't help but imitate the turn signal sound whenever you're in a car. Yeah, and sometimes I create a song in my head based on the turn signal, kind of like Harry Potter Puppet Pals, the mysterious ticking noise. Although in this case it's the turn signal and not a pipe bomb.
It's a good sound. I put it right up there with heels on cobblestones. All right, this next one is from Carolyn Rollinghoff. You might be autistic if your mom tells you to put the ice cream in the freezer and you put it in the cupboard. Oh. I could see you doing something like that. Sometimes I will ask Nathan to do something and I'll point at it to make sure he understands. And if he's talking or thinking about something else, he just won't do it, or he'll do something really bizarre and I have to say, "What? No, what are you doing? Hey, focus." Your dad notices that you do that too sometimes.
Okay, when people tell me to do something, sometimes they have to tell me to do it twice, or, give me more clear instructions.
If you give him really, really clear instructions, he'll get confused.
I don't think that's true. Of course, I could be biased.
This next one is from A. Gold. You might be autistic if you struggle with interrupting people in group conversations because you can't tell when there is an opening to talk.
Yeah, all the time. I often have trouble hanging out in groups that are more than 4 or 5 people because
it gets difficult if you don't know them. If you know them well, then...
If you know them well, that's one thing. But if you don't know them well, a lot of people are like, "Hey, Nathan, you must be really introverted because you don't really talk much." It's no, I'm not introverted. I'm not introverted at all. I want to talk. I want to talk so much, but I don't know when I can.
Yeah, I remember growing up, I just was constantly accused of interrupting people, and I would have, authority figures and relatives and teachers say, "Stop interrupting me," and they would do something I thought was really cruel, which was they said every time I interrupted their conversation, they were not going to speak to me for a minute for each interruption, and that just broke my heart, obviously metaphorically. And it was really awful because I don't think they understood that I didn't intend to interrupt them. I just couldn't tell when they were finished.
This is from Neuroadequate, which I really do like that name. If your work productively varies throughout the week from does 3 days of work in 6 hours to can't focus on work-related things for more than 20 minutes at a time, you might be autistic. Yeah, that is very much me. I have a really tough time going from being completely work-focused to being not work-focused. There's no balance. We're working on that.
Yeah, we're trying different things.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments below if you found anything that works.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't relate to your coworkers' conversations about their favorite television shows because your source of visual entertainment is watching YouTube videos on your special interest at the time, you might be autistic.
You could probably just end that after if you can't relate to your coworkers. And I think a lot of autistics would get it because for most of my life, at pretty much all my jobs except maybe one, I could not relate to my coworkers, and their conversations were so bizarre to me. There were times where I felt like they were very inappropriate and told me things that I simply would never want to know from a stranger, and that's what I considered them.
Yeah.
And really work inappropriate. And there were times where I would say something and they would just be really shocked that I had an external life outside of work because I seemed really closed down. I think for me, I tend to err on the side of being more closed off and formal with coworkers because I'm just really uncomfortable with familiarity, especially with people for whom I would not necessarily choose to spend time with.
Yeah. And one thing I will say is if you are talking to said coworkers and you are feeling like you really want to talk about the YouTube videos that you look up that are related to your special interest,
Nathan.
and those YouTube videos happen to be featured on this YouTube channel, I mean, I'm just saying, feel free to tell your coworkers about this channel.
How dare you? Still from Neuroadequate. If you and your fiance are looking at different carpets for your bedroom and y'all spend way more time appraising the texture of the carpet than the color of the pattern, y'all might be autistic. I have a fix for you. Are you ready for it? Carpet's bad. Don't use carpet ever. Get rugs because rugs can be soft and nice under your toes, under your bed and your couch, which is all you need it for. And
you
also,
can easily take it away.
Yes, if it gets nasty, which it will get nasty because that's what carpet does. It gets gross. It gets filled with dead skin cells and vomit or scent particles or pet dander or anything that's in the air. Things happen to carpet and it's disgusting and it's awful, and we used to disagree a lot.
Yeah, I used to think that I liked carpet because I did like the softness. But then I renovated a house and pulled up a lot of carpet that was so old that we found newspapers from World War II under it. Not making that up. And there was so much dust and so much horribleness that I hate carpets now. They're terrible.
Carpets.
I'm pretty sure that I took off at least 5 years of my life from pulling up those carpets.
Yeah, probably. But so for me, carpet is a huge sensory issue. I have a lot of sensitivity to smells, and carpets always stink. And even, especially right after you vacuum them, which you need to do, they smell bad too, like the heat and the dust and the... Ugh, I just hate carpets. Also from Neuroadequate, if you still don't have a trash can in your new apartment because your fiance has his heart set on a black metal round trash can, and the only black metal round trash can he found in stores was broken, and none of the 5 stores y'all have been to have had this black metal round trash can, and despite the inconvenience this causes, you're okay because moving during the pandemic has been incredibly stressful for the both of you, and if having a black metal round trash can makes things that much more tolerable for him, then so be it. Aww, your autistic relationship might be working out. That's adorable. We'll fix the carpet. We already fixed the carpet thing, so that's one thing.
Yeah, we did.
And as for the black...
And all it took was taking off 5 years of my life.
And as for the black metal round trash can, you'll find it. One thing I would just offer is if you find a metal round trash can that suits the exact dimensions that you would want, and the only problem is that it's not black, it may end up being worth setting up a little area wherever you have, if you have like any outside space, garage, sidewalk, basement, and as long as you make sure that you aren't spraying anything behind it, you could just spray paint it metal. I know some people don't want to do projects. I think of spray paint as a really easy project, and since it's a trash can, if it doesn't look perfect, not that many people are going to be closely examining it. Just saying that might be an option.
Yeah. You know, I strongly believe from the bottom of my heart that there's a trash can out there for everyone.
I have a whole lot of empathy for this experience, and I really hope you find something that works even better or just as well.
And the final one for today is from Ohio Irishman You might be autistic if people don't get your sense of humor.
Yeah, just...
Yeah, just yeah. Although hopefully, if you're watching this channel, you get my sense of humor.
I've been told by others that I'm delightful, so, you know, not to brag or anything, but I think I'm funny.
That was funny. Well, that's today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks you so much to everybody who submitted You Might Be Autistic gifts in the comments. If you have any more You Might Be Autistic gifts, please feel free to leave a comment down below, and we'll get to them as soon as possible, but we have a huge amount of submissions that we still have not gone through yet, and I'm looking forward to making more videos in the future in which we will go through them yet. So thank you so much to everybody, and once again, we're sorry if we mispronounced anybody's name. So thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a like, a share, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, check out some of my other stuff, and if you want to support the channel in other ways, support me on Patreon, and you will see me in the next one.